It's a perfect situation.
Now the last episode I mentioned about the lining. See what material you would like to line the bag. And I chose this. It was a bit of an old curtain that was made into a cushion cover. So it's exactly the same for the lining as we did for the bag. We did 4 8-inch squares, so that's 16 inches each, but we've got a seam in it there and a seam in the bottom, but we'll go for that. It's still the same number. It's 16-inch square that we actually need, one for the inside front and one for the inside back. There we have 2 squares, 16-inch squares of what I'm going to be using as the lining fabric. I've also cut out a strip that's 4 inches wide because obviously we want to put this round. So as we did with the bag itself, one of those. So as we did with the bag itself, find if there's a right side and a wrong side. This looks like the right side, or is it that? You could decide whichever one you want on this, as the right side and the wrong side. So, but we'll just plonk it down then. But we'll do exactly the same and sew this edging all the way round 3 of the sides. Oh, and look, it's not long enough, so we'll have to add a piece to that, which I'm glad about because I'll be able to show you how to add it in so that you don't have a bunch of seams all together. So let me cut another 4-inch strip so I can add it to it, and then I'll meet you over the machine. And the strip that we're using to go around the edge of the lining, as you saw, was not long enough. So what we need to do, I've cut another 4-inch strip. We lay one down, could be the longest, could be the shortest, doesn't matter. But lay one down, and this is very very fraying material. But you put right sides together. In this case there is no right and there is no wrong. So lay them together. So you made a corner. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I should do this again. And you want to hold this because this is slippy material. So put a pen in. You don't have to use slippy material, you can use whatever you want. Turn the machine on. What we want to do is sew from one corner there in a diagonal all the way across to there. I know that this looks funny to get it in a straight line, but believe me, it works. So, it's just show you on that. This is a lining, it doesn't matter what colour you've got going, it's going to be inside the bag anyway. But put your strips on, find your corner. If I can move this machine, possibly see it better. Find your corner. So that's where your foot needs to go down. Find your tails. The ends of your cotton. Where's my foot pedal? There. Drop your needle into it. slowly press, and you can, in fact you're best doing a back stitch. So do a few stitches and reverse, do a couple of stitches just to lock them in place. Don't forget to take your pins out, you don't want to go over them and break your needle. Now, to sew in a diagonal line, I just put my finger on the end that I want to get at. This machine's bunched up. That's it, that's broke some of the cotton. Never mind, we'll just do that again. It does do this at times. If it does, just stop your sewing, because you can always get back to it. Take your bobbin out, because it's possibly some material or cotton that's got in the way of it and is jamming it. There's a lot of lint in there, I think I need to clean it. But just so you can see as well, I've been sewing most of my life off and on. I still get it, that me cotton breaks on me, me needle breaks on me. Don't worry, it's happened there many times. Doesn't matter. Right, and especially with this being a line, it doesn't really matter. Let's put me thing on. Called an extension table, but when I learned to sew, they were bigger than the base of this. The base of the sewing machines were. It is handy if you're doing a collar though. Take it off. Right, and just take it back half an inch that you've sewed and start again. Not a problem. See? There's a few stitches forward, a few stitches back to lock, and carry on. I'll take the pen out here, put my finger where I want to go. And that's it. And when I've sewn this on, because it's such fraying material, I might, you don't have to cut your ends off, it's just that they do get on my nerves. Right. And as you see, that's the line of stitching that we've just done. If you fold it out, you get a straight line. What you can do is you then cut this bottom piece. Where's my scissors? Because this is like your seam allowance now. So we cut this bottom piece at what would normally be a normal seam allowance. There. And this top piece, we do a nice big seam allowance. It doesn't have to be this big, but it's exaggerated so you can see it better on camera. So when we actually flatten it out, we'll turn it over, you can see that they're not on top of one another, so you've not got the material bunched. You can press the seam open, but because I have that problem in the middle, I'm going to press it to the side. While my iron is heating up, these strips of bits that you cut off, save them. It can come in useful. I've been saving them for over a year now. This is a box full of little teeny bits. Cut them up and they make brilliant stuffing for little animals that you make. This box is full of bigger bits. There's big ones like that one, or that, but there's also, let me find, strip. See, there's even pieces this size in it, because what I am doing is making a crumb quilt, and I'll use all these. So all the odds and ends, don't throw them in the bin, save them. And although my iron's heated up now, I'll show you my crumb quilt. Little tiny bits sewn together. So when I feel like sewing, but not for very long, although I sit and do crumb quilts for a few hours. But I'll come up and, or if I just finish a project and it's not quite time for me to have my evening meal or anything, I just sew a few bits of crumbs together, and it's amazing how fast it mounts up. So there, is that pressed? We can now use it. We want to do exactly the same as we did on the bag itself. Make sure that this is now, like me, there isn't a right side or a wrong side, but now there is, because I've done this seam on it. So we lay it down, pin or not pin, whichever you want. And we sew all the way down there to about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch off, and then we do the folds on the corners exactly the same as the bag, and we do that on 3 sides. Can't you tell I'm new at this recording sewing thing? I just go for it. Right, I sewed all around the strip, same as we did for the outside of the bag. And then I realised that this material frays that bag, you can more or less watch it fraying. So I zigzagged around the edge of every bit of material. What that does, it will help stop the fraying. It won't stop it completely, but it'll help. You could fold it under a couple of times, but it's the inside lining of a bag. I'm not going to do that. So, I sewed on one side exactly the same as the bag. The other side, I only did the sides. The bottom, bottom is empty. I did not sew the bottom up, and that is extremely important because you'll be turning it around.
It's a perfect